Alright, we good? Cool. So, video games, right? They're being adapted. This is a really cool thing. Whether it be the critical success of Fallout, Last of Us, or commercial rise of Mario and the Sonic movies, studios are trying to shift their comic book movie adaptations more to video games. And we see that with new movies coming out like The Legend of Zelda, Minecraft movie, Sims movie, even the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, which I thought was pretty good already, is getting a second movie, and I think that's pretty cool because I love Matthew Lillard. So I decided to throw my hat into the ring. That's right, I'm gonna kickstart a fan film that will get $100,000 and everyone will love until accusations of my racism will come into play and I ultimately make a bloated 2.5-hour mess. I'm obviously kidding. Or am I? I want to talk about what I want to see, like a wish list, if you will, of video games I would love to see in the visual media. What genre should it be? Should it be like animated or live action? Should it be a series or a movie? Because I think adapting video games is a lot like books, oddly enough. It's all about not just story, but tone. And tone is really important because you need to grasp the feeling of playing these games without even playing them. And hey, I might not say the adaptations you want to hear, but if you got any suggestions for video game adaptations you want to see, or examples of some really good ones I forgot to mention, leave them down in the comments below. Alright, so first things first, let's get this one out of the way.
It is a good life we lead, brother.
At best, may it never change.
And may it never change us.
I'll kill you for what you've done!
We work in the dark, serve the light. We are assassins.
Before you comment down below, I know, I'm not the first one to the Assassin's Creed idea. They already made a movie, goddammit. But I think the main reason that movie failed, it took too much time setting up the Abstergo lore, you know? And granted, it is a big part of that game series, but the whole point of the Abstergo future plotline is to break up the pacing of the legitimate game. And that entire time you're watching the movie, you're just sitting there and going, when is Aguilar gonna show up again? And I think we need to focus on the historical fiction side of the lore before we get to the future lore, to generalize it for audience. And I know people have been saying generalizing to audiences is kind of bad when you're doing adaptations like this, but I don't think anyone would get like upset if we like cut out the like Abstergo future plotline. You still have the Templars and the Assassins. That's the cool part. Remember, this is just all my opinion. If you don't like it, comment down below. And that's why my pitch for this new Assassin's Creed thing is Assassin's Creed the Ezio trilogy. Adapting these 3 Assassin's Creed games would be a perfect introduction to the Assassin's Creed lore to the general audience. Not only due to its amazing writing, but its historical spectacle of Renaissance Italy. It would be an amazing backdrop to show visually, because we already have historical fiction movies out there. So if we get that audience and maybe tie that in with Assassin's Creed, people would love that. Also, I think the main character, Ezio Auditore, is a perfect character for the films. He's charismatic and the perfect audience surrogate, meaning we could explain the whole Assassin's Creed lore without this big blob of text at the beginning. But also, Ezio is like emotionally relatable, if you know what I mean. We can explore the themes of his tragic backstory, his quest for vengeance, and the political commentary of political leaders not being faithful to their roles. And I think Assassin's Creed the Ezio trilogy would be really cool to talk about the themes of vengeance, becoming a leader, and atoning for the things of the past and legacy that are so deeply built in Ezio Auditore's character. And look, I know a trilogy would be really hard to set up. Like, movies all the time are trying to start their connected, huge universes, and most of the time, they don't even work. Shout out that Tom Cruise Mummy movie, right? Dark Universe. But if I wanted to make an Assassin's Creed movie, and it was said and done, right? There was only one we could make. I'd say we should adapt Black Flag. That way, it's not just an Assassin's Creed movie, but a pirate movie. And people love pirates, in my opinion. Okay, side note. Where are all the pirate movies? The last one I remember seeing in theaters was like Pirates of the Caribbean 5. And it's not like Disney holds the rights to pirates, right? Or at least fantasy pirates. Although I would love for them to make like another or like a reboot of like Treasure Planet. Like, I thought that was incredible and they should Do that, Disney. I don't want to see Mufasa Origins. I want to see more Treasure Planet. Fuck it, I just thought of this now. Make Wind Waker. It's one of the best Zelda games. I know Zelda is getting a live action right now, but screw it. Get Ghibli, get Trigger, get some animation company to make a cutesy Wind Waker with a silent Link. And then you can make a sequel movie called Spirit Tracks. And then you can adapt the Spirit Track game, which is Riley's favorite game of like all time. You should totally do that. It's like Wind Waker, but with trains. The next adaptation I think they should do is Halo Reach. And yes, I know there's already a Halo show. I'm already O2 on original ideas, okay? Nothing's original anymore, just more about the details of how original you can be. You could do it in a Cyberpunk Edge Runners series, and let me explain that. Where one season of this show is just a complete spin-off to the original Halo show on Paramount. And I think it should be in an Edge Runners format, as the first half is just getting to know all of the Spartans, and the second half is just death. You can make it about the military, and how the UNSC doesn't care about Spartan lives. And also the ending sequence of the show would be legendary. And if I had personal creative control, I'd say a 15-minute one-shot of just like the greatest Halo action you have ever seen in your life. Alright, I ran out of ideas, so this is just gonna be a rapid fire one, alright? First one, Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. This indie game is so much fun, with an amazing soundtrack, amazing story, amazing aesthetic, and I think if you upgrade the models a little bit, maybe even make them 2D or 2D.5, I think an animated model could make a great short Cartoon Network TV show like OK KO or Mighty Magisword, something in that vein, you know? And then you can do a cool overarching narrative with the plot of Red. Okay, next one. Portal. Super easy. Just make it. The internet has been making mock trailers for it for years. Possibly make it a trippy escape movie with cool sci-fi themes and just do that. Why is no one making a Portal movie? The next one I would say is Borderlands 2. I know. Borderlands movie already coming out. I can't wait to see it. I love Eli Roth, but I'm kind of concerned about the lore not being 100%. I always thought like an animated Borderlands movie or show would be so much better than just like adapting it to live action, because it has such a cool, unique style that works in like the CGI landscapes of the Borderlands. You know what I mean? Next one, BioShock, Netflix. Don't fuck it up, please. I'd love to see BioShock in like an episodic format, you know? I think if every episode started with maybe a retelling of like audio logs before you encounter the boss, almost like in a villain of a week type vibe, I think that would be the coolest thing, especially for the BioShock, The World of Atlas. And it would also differentiate yourself from the Fallout show that recently came out. Next up, Sonic Mania, TV show. Please, oh my god, I love like Tyson Hesse's art style so much. I just need a show of this to go on for like 7 seasons, Saturday morning cartoon era, work with Netflix, work with anyone, just get this show on the road. And if he talks once, I think we throw it out, because I think this like silent screwball type comedy is the perfect thing to do, especially for Sonic. Okay, but what's my point of all this, right? I think what I'm trying to say is, for the longest time, filmmakers have been inspired by books, right? The Lord of the Rings, Dune, those are made by filmmakers who have read those books as children. And when they got into the world of filmmaking, they wanted to bring that feeling they got as a child to the rest of the world by faithfully adapting these books. And as much as this sucks for society, I grew up on video games. I was a kid suffering from dyslexia. Reading to me was a chore. Video games were the escape, where I could learn themes and morals and achieving the happiest and saddest of endings just to grow with characters. We're getting to a point where video game movies are now possible. They're being adapted perfectly. The video game curse doesn't exist anymore. So let's just not fuck it up. I don't know. That might be the thesis of this, but also I just wanted to talk about my really cool ideas for video game movies, because I don't have the budget and I don't have the CGI experience, but I get gosh darn it, I have ideas. So if you like them, leave a like and maybe subscribe. And if you didn't, that's a-okay. Have a good rest of your day. I've been Riley, you've been watching, and yeah, subscribe to Cabbage. Peace out.